On the day my wife and I got our marriage license, she smiled, slipped her hand into mine, and said something I believed was romantic. If we ever sleep in separate rooms for more than 7 days, let's consider the marriage over. No begging. No drama. Just let it end. I laughed and promised it would never happen. Back then, I thought it was our way of promising we'd never let arguments last. I had no idea she'd eventually turn that promise into a weapon. Every time we argued, she'd grab her pillow, march into the guest room, and slam the door so hard the walls shook. Then she'd wait. Not for an apology. For surrender. And every single time, I was the one who caved. I apologized for arguments I didn't start. I admitted to mistakes I didn't make. I buried my pride because I loved her more than I loved being right. For 3 years, that became our marriage. Until the day I realized something. The only person fighting to keep us together was me. It was my 28th birthday. I had spent weeks looking forward to dinner with my wife, Vanessa Brooks. A quiet evening together. Simple. That was all I'd wanted. The candles on the dining table had already burned halfway down before I finally accepted she wasn't coming. My phone stayed silent. No calls. No messages. Nothing. Then, nearly 2 hours later, the front door opened. Vanessa stepped inside carrying a small gift bag like nothing had happened. "I got you something." She held out a pair of expensive diamond cufflinks. I stared at the box but never reached for it. The silence between us grew heavy. Finally she frowned. "What?" I looked at her. "Did you forget what today is?" She sighed dramatically. "Ethan, birthdays happen every year." Her voice carried the same irritation she'd used dozens of times before. But Ryan had an emergency. He cut himself at work, and I had to take him to the hospital. She folded her arms. I came home as soon as I could. Stop acting like the victim. Then came the sentence that hit harder than anything else. "You're becoming unbelievably controlling." I almost laughed. Controlling? I'd spent 3 years watching another man take priority over our marriage. 3 birthdays. 3 broken promises. Every single one because of Ryan. The first year, she stayed late helping him finish a presentation. The second, she left town on a business trip with him. Now, she abandoned our anniversary dinner because he'd suffered a paper cut. Not a car accident. Not a heart attack. A paper cut. Yet somehow, I was the unreasonable one. Without another word, Vanessa picked up her pillow. Just like always, she walked toward the guest room. Before closing the door, she looked over her shoulder, clearly expecting me to chase after her. The door slammed. Hard. She was waiting. Waiting for me to knock. Waiting for me to apologize. Waiting for history to repeat itself. But this time, I didn't move. The birthday cake sat untouched on the coffee table. The air conditioner was running, but the frosting had already begun to melt. I watched the colorful icing slowly slide down the sides. Funny. It looked exactly like our marriage. No matter how carefully I tried to hold it together, it kept falling apart anyway. I scooped up a spoonful. It tasted sweet. Yet somehow, all I could taste was disappointment. For the first time in years, I asked myself a question I'd spent too long avoiding. Was I still fighting for my marriage? Or just afraid of losing someone who had already stopped choosing me? The answer hurt more than I expected. About 20 minutes later, the guest room door creaked open. Vanessa walked back into the living room. For one brief moment, hope stirred inside me. Maybe she'd realized she'd gone too far. Maybe she came to apologize. She walked over quietly. A little frosting was stuck near the corner of my mouth. She smiled faintly, grabbed a tissue, and gently wiped it away. "I'm sorry." Those 2 words almost broke me. 3 years. 3 years of swallowing my pride. 3 years of chasing after her. And finally, she was apologizing first. My eyes burned. Maybe this nightmare was finally ending. Maybe she understood. Then she kept talking. "I know you don't like Ryan. I'll try to keep things professional from now on." I stayed silent. She continued. "Someone posted photos of me taking him to the hospital. Everyone at work thinks we're having an affair." She looked straight into my eyes. "I need your help." The warmth inside me disappeared instantly. "I want you to tell everyone the rumors are false. You should apologize publicly for making people misunderstand him." I blinked. I wasn't hearing an apology. I was hearing another assignment. Another sacrifice. Another reminder that, even on my birthday, Ryan still came first. Something inside me finally snapped. I laughed. Not because anything was funny. Because I suddenly realized how pathetic I'd become. She mistook my laugh for agreement. Relieved, she smiled. "I knew you'd understand. I'll add you to the company group chat. Just tell everyone Ryan's innocent and apologize." I looked directly at her, then quietly said, "No." She froze. The smile disappeared from her face. "What?" I said no. "I'm not apologizing. I'm not protecting him. And I'm done pretending none of this hurts. The room fell completely silent. For the first time in 3 years, I wasn't the man begging for peace. I was the man walking away from the fight. Vanessa's expression slowly hardened. She had no idea. Everything was about to change. Vanessa stared at me as though I'd spoken a language she'd never heard before. For 3 years, every argument had followed the same script. She would get angry. She would retreat to the guest room. I would apologize. No matter who was right or wrong, I was always the one who gave in. This time, I broke the pattern. Her eyes narrowed. We're talking about an innocent person, Ethan. Her voice was calm, but I knew that tone. It was the same one she used whenever she'd already decided she was right. Ryan hasn't done anything wrong. He's just an intern trying to build a career. Do you have any idea what these rumors could do to him? I met her gaze without flinching. And what about what they've done to our marriage? She opened her mouth, but I didn't let her interrupt. For 3 years, you've expected me to understand every time you chose him over me. You missed every birthday we've celebrated as husband and wife. You left me standing alone in the rain because he called. You've defended him every single time we've argued. I took a slow breath. But somehow, I'm the problem. For the first time in a long while, I saw uncertainty flicker across her face. It lasted less than a second. Then it disappeared. You always exaggerate. I was doing my job. It's not my fault you're so insecure. The word hit harder than she probably intended. Insecure. Not heartbroken. Not lonely. Not neglected. Just insecure. I let out a quiet laugh. You know what's funny? I don't even care whether you love him anymore. I care that you stopped loving us. Her jaw tightened. Without another word, she grabbed her purse. If that's how you want to act, I'll stay at the company until you come to your senses. She paused at the front door. And if you're really a man, don't call me first. The door slammed behind her. Once again. Only this time. The silence that followed felt strangely peaceful. I didn't run after her. I didn't text. I didn't call. I simply sat there, listening to the quiet. For the first time in years, I wasn't afraid. A few moments later, my phone buzzed. Her name flashed across the screen. My heart skipped. Then I looked closer. It wasn't Vanessa. It was Ryan. The message read, Ms. Brooks only took me to the hospital because I got a tiny paper cut. Don't imagine things that aren't there. Another message arrived almost immediately. Only insecure husbands get jealous over every little thing. I read both messages twice. Then locked my phone without replying. What was there left to say? The man who kept insisting nothing was going on seemed awfully interested in reminding me of his place in my wife's life. That night, memories flooded back one after another. I remembered lying in bed months earlier, doubled over with severe stomach pain. The doctor later confirmed it was appendicitis. Before I went to the hospital, I'd called Vanessa. All I'd asked for was a glass of water. She'd barely looked up from her laptop. You're not dying, Ethan. Stop acting like a spoiled child. Those words had stayed with me ever since. Yet Ryan received emergency treatment. For a paper cut. The comparison was impossible to ignore. Whether they were having an affair or not no longer mattered. Emotionally, she had already chosen someone else. Over the next 3 days, Vanessa never came home. Not once. In the past, I would have spent every hour staring at my phone, wondering when she'd walk through the door. This time, I opened the closet instead. I packed a suitcase. One shirt. Then another. Important documents. A few family photographs. The watch my late father had given me. Everything I truly cared about fit into one suitcase. The house didn't belong to me anyway. Vanessa had bought it before we got married. If anyone was leaving, it was me. By the 4th day, my best friend, Daniel, called. You've disappeared. We're all meeting at Eclipse Lounge tonight. You coming? Normally, I'd have made an excuse. I should stay home. What if Vanessa comes back? That would have been my answer. Not anymore. I'll be there. Daniel went quiet for a second before laughing. Now that's the Ethan I haven't seen in years. For the first time in what felt like forever, I chose myself. I didn't realize fate had one more surprise waiting for me. The moment I walked into the lounge, I saw them. Vanessa, Ryan, and half the people from her office. Vanessa noticed me immediately. For a brief second, her face softened, almost like she was relieved to see me. Then Ryan leaned toward her and whispered something. Her expression turned cold again. She folded her arms. You followed me here. There wasn't even the slightest hint of guilt in her voice. Only annoyance. I couldn't help but smile. You really think the whole city revolves around you? Before she could answer, Ryan stepped forward with that same innocent smile he wore around everyone else. Come on, Ethan. If you miss your wife that much, just tell her. He chuckled. There's only a few days left before your little 7-day rule kicks in. The others laughed with him. Someone raised a glass. Vanessa has him completely wrapped around her finger. I wish my husband listened that well. Vanessa didn't stop them. If anything, she looked proud. Like their words were compliments. She looked at me almost generously. I'll come home tonight. Isn't that enough? Her tone wasn't loving. It wasn't apologetic. It sounded like a queen granting mercy to a servant. Something inside me finally went cold. I looked her straight in the eyes. You can stay away as long as you want. I honestly don't care anymore. For the first time, the smile disappeared from Vanessa's face. She realized the man she'd always expected to come running had stopped chasing her. The smile slowly faded from Vanessa's face. She searched my eyes, almost as if she were waiting for me to crack, to apologize, to admit I didn't mean it. But I simply walked past them. I wasn't there for them. I was there to spend time with my friends. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. Before I'd taken more than a few steps, someone grabbed my wrist. Ryan. His grip wasn't strong, but it was deliberate. He leaned in with that familiar, fake smile. Don't push your luck, Ethan. Ms. Brooks already said she's going home tonight. You should know when to stop. I looked down at his hand, then back into his eyes. For months, I'd ignored the little comments, the smug smiles, the subtle jabs. I told myself I was imagining things. Not anymore. I calmly pulled my arm free. You seem awfully invested in my marriage. His smile stiffened. I just don't like seeing Vanessa stressed. I couldn't help but laugh. You'd love it if we divorced. You've been waiting for an opening ever since you walked into her office. His face hardened for the first time. You're delusional. No, I replied quietly. I'm finally paying attention. Ryan stepped closer, lowering his voice. You know why she keeps choosing me? Because I make her happy. And every time she talks about you. He shrugged. She sounds exhausted. The words landed like a punch. I didn't know whether they were true. Maybe he was lying. Maybe he wasn't. Either way, they revealed exactly what kind of person he was. I turned to leave. He reached for me again. Instinctively, I brushed his hand away. It wasn't even a shove. Barely enough force to make someone lose balance. But Ryan threw himself backward as if he'd been hit by a truck. Ah! He stumbled dramatically, straight into Vanessa's arms. His eyes immediately filled with tears. I was only trying to calm him down. He attacked me. The entire room fell silent. Every head turned toward us. Ryan lowered his gaze like a frightened child. I've tried so hard to stay out of your marriage. But he hates me. I'm scared to even go to work now. What if he comes after me there too? Vanessa wrapped an arm around his shoulders without hesitation. Her eyes locked onto mine. Cold. Sharp. Disappointed. Ethan. Apologize. I stared at her. I'm not apologizing. You shoved him. I moved his hand off me. Don't lie. There it was again. She hadn't asked what happened. She hadn't even considered my side. She'd already decided I was guilty. Ryan sniffled quietly beside her. I don't want to cause problems. I'll resign if that's what it takes. Several co-workers immediately surrounded him. No, Ryan. You've done nothing wrong. Some people are just insecure. One of them looked directly at me. If I were Vanessa, I would have left long ago. The words should have hurt. Instead, they made something inside me strangely calm. Vanessa took one slow step toward me. Her voice was firm. I'm only asking for one sentence. Say you're sorry. And we'll go home. I looked at the woman I'd loved with everything I had. The woman I'd defended, supported, waited for, forgiven countless times. Not once. Not once had she chosen me when it mattered most. I smiled sadly. You still don't get it. She frowned. This isn't about Ryan. This isn't about tonight. This is about every time you expected me to lose a piece of myself just to keep you happy. I've apologized enough for one lifetime. A muscle twitched in her jaw. So that's it. You'd rather throw away our marriage. I held her gaze. Our marriage didn't end tonight. It ended the day you stopped treating me like your husband. Silence. Heavy. Painful. Then she said the words she'd used to control me for years. If you walk away now, we're finished. For a brief moment, my heart still ached. Not because I wanted to stay, but because I'd once dreamed we'd grow old together. I took a slow breath, then nodded. Okay. Just one word. No anger. No shouting. No pleading. Only acceptance. For the first time since we'd been married, I saw genuine panic flash across her face. She hadn't expected me to agree. She expected me to chase her. Instead, I turned around and walked away. That night, I slept better than I had in years. No anxiety. No waiting for a late-night phone call. No rehearsing apologies in my head. Just peace. When morning came, sunlight streamed through the bedroom window. For a few seconds, I almost forgot everything that had happened. Then I walked downstairs and froze. A man's laughter echoed from the kitchen. Ryan. He was standing in my house, barefoot, a white towel wrapped loosely around his waist. His damp hair suggested he'd just taken a shower. He looked completely comfortable, like he belonged there. For a moment, I honestly wondered if I was still dreaming. Then I saw Vanessa. She was standing at the stove, quietly making breakfast. The same woman who had always claimed she hated cooking was humming softly while preparing oatmeal. She looked up when she heard my footsteps. There was no guilt on her face, only annoyance. Ryan quickly raised both hands. Ethan, it's not what you're thinking. I drank too much after everyone left. I got sick. I lost my apartment keys. Vanessa didn't have a choice but to let me stay. I slowly looked around the room. Fresh coffee, breakfast on the stove, his clothes hanging neatly over a chair to dry. Everything looked domestic, like this had happened before. I laughed under my breath. No choice. I looked directly at Vanessa. That's funny. It looks like you made plenty of choices. For the first time that morning, neither of them had an answer. And deep down, I already knew what I had to do next. The silence in the kitchen stretched so long that even the coffee maker seemed louder than usual. Ryan shifted uncomfortably, forcing out a nervous smile. Ethan, please don't misunderstand. Ms. Brooks was only helping me. I had nowhere else to go. I looked at him for a long moment before speaking. You had nowhere else to go. My voice was calm, almost amused. In a city with hundreds of hotels. You couldn't buy a change of clothes. You couldn't call a friend. I shook my head. No, Ryan. You had options. I glanced around the house. You just preferred this one. Ryan lowered his eyes, pretending to look ashamed. Before he could answer, Vanessa stepped between us. That's enough. Her tone was sharp. You're making a scene over nothing. Nothing. I laughed bitterly. You brought another man into our home. Our home, Vanessa. And somehow I'm the one causing problems. She folded her arms. He was sick. So was I replied. Her expression faltered. I continued. Do you remember when I was rushed to the hospital with appendicitis? You told me I was acting like a spoiled child because I asked for a glass of water. My voice remained steady, but every word carried years of disappointment. Ryan gets a paper cut. You leave everything to rush him to the hospital. He gets drunk. You bring him home. He wakes up. You cook him breakfast. I looked directly into her eyes. I finally understand. It was never about emergencies. It was about who mattered to you. For the first time, Vanessa couldn't find an answer. Ryan sensed the shift immediately. He stepped forward with that familiar, innocent expression. I'm really sorry, Ethan. If leaving will make things better, I'll go. He took a dramatic step toward the door. Vanessa instinctively reached out and grabbed his arm. Wait. You can't go outside dressed like that. I'll drive you after breakfast. That single gesture said more than any confession ever could. I closed my eyes for a brief second. When I opened them again, whatever love remained inside me was gone. Vanessa finally looked back at me. If you hadn't started another argument first thing this morning, none of this would have happened. Then she said the words that erased the last trace of hope I had been holding on to. Sometimes. I wish I'd never married you. The room fell completely silent. Ryan's eyes widened. Even he hadn't expected her to say something that cruel. Vanessa realized it too. Regret flashed across her face. She opened her mouth. Ethan. I raised my hand. No. For the first time in years. I didn't want an explanation. I didn't want another apology that only appeared when it benefited someone else. I agree with you. She blinked. I wish we'd never gotten married too. Those words hit her harder than I expected. She stood frozen. I walked upstairs without looking back. 10 minutes later, I came down carrying a single suitcase. Everything I owned fit inside it. I stopped at the front door. I'll save you the trouble. You won't have to threaten me with the 7-day rule anymore. I'm leaving. Ryan quietly whispered, Ethan, don't do this. I finally looked at him. You know. I used to blame you. But not anymore. You didn't make vows to me. You didn't promise to stand beside me. My wife did. Then I turned to Vanessa one last time. I hope one day you understand the difference. Without waiting for a reply, I walked out. And this time, I never looked back. The next 7 days passed in complete silence. My phone buzzed constantly. Mutual friends called one after another. Dude, stop being stubborn. Vanessa already moved Ryan to another department. She obviously chose you. Just apologize so you two can move on. Some even laughed. Do you know how many men wish they had a wife like her? I stared at the messages. A wife like her. Someone who made me compete for basic respect. Someone who expected endless forgiveness while giving none in return. No. I was done. I typed one final message into the group chat. The divorce is already being processed. Anyone telling me to apologize can lose my number. Then I blocked every single one of them. No speeches. No arguments. Just peace. The same afternoon, my attorney sent the divorce papers to Vanessa's office. By then, I was already sitting inside an airport terminal, watching planes take off, watching people begin new chapters. It felt strangely symbolic. For years, I'd mistaken endurance for love. Now, I finally understood. Sometimes loving yourself means walking away from the person you love most. When my flight was called, I stood up without hesitation. I never looked back. Across the city, Vanessa sat through a meeting, barely hearing a word. She kept checking her phone, waiting for my message, waiting for the apology she had received after every argument for the last 3 years. It never came. When the meeting ended, she immediately unlocked her phone. Nothing. She frowned. Maybe he's trying to make a point, she thought. He'll cave eventually. Then a memory surfaced. 3 birthdays. 3 broken promises. Every single one sacrificed for Ryan. For the first time, guilt settled heavily on her heart. She opened our chat and typed, "Let's take that beach vacation you've always wanted." She pressed send. The message failed. Blocked. Confused, she tried calling. A robotic voice answered. "The person you are trying to reach is unavailable." Blocked again. Her heartbeat quickened. She asked her assistant to find out which hotel I had checked into. Before the assistant could respond, another envelope was placed on her desk. "It's from Mr. Carter." Vanessa smiled faintly. I knew it. He couldn't stay away. "I'll forgive him. Book us a table at that restaurant he likes. And stop by the jewelry store. I'll buy him something nice." She opened the envelope. The smile disappeared. Inside, there wasn't a love letter. There wasn't an apology. There wasn't a plea to come home. There were divorce papers. Signed. Dated. Already filed. For the first time since we'd met, there was nothing left for her to threaten. Nothing left to negotiate. Nothing left to save. She finally understood a lesson she'd learned too late. You can take someone's love for granted, only until the day they stop offering it. And once that day comes, no amount of regret can bring it back.